So students, we'll see question number 18 now. That is uh, question number 18. So we have discussed question number 17. Now let us move on to question number 18. That is muscular tetany can be caused by deficiency of thyroxine, oxytocin, parathyroid hormone, and antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH. What is muscular tetany? We have learned in first year. That is rapid spasms or over excitation or over contraction of muscles. That is, which hormone controls it? Thyroxine is nowhere related to tetany because you know it is related to thyroid gland. That is hypo and hyperthyroidism. That is related to thyroxine and it is related to metabolism. So it cannot be related to muscles. Then oxytocin is a birth hormone. It doesn't cause tetany. It is helpful for parturition or child birth or delivery. Then we have doubt on parathyroid and ADH, isn't it? Antidiuretic hormone ADH causes diuresis, that is release of dilute urine. Reabsorption doesn't happen in the distal convoluted tubule. So that means ADH is also not related to muscular tetany. Then how parathyroid hormone is related to muscular tetany? Parathormone is a hormone. It is also called parathyroid hormone. It is also called parathormone. Okay. What it does, it controls or regulates calcium and phosphorus balance between blood and other tissues. Always in the blood and other tissues, calcium and phosphorus ions should be balanced. Okay. So parathyroid hormone mobilizes the release of calcium into the blood from the bones and increases calcium absorption from the intestines. Okay, that means parathyroid hormone mobilizes release of calcium into blood from the bones and increases calcium absorption from the intestine, so that from the intestine more and more calcium is absorbed. When there is deficiency of this parathyroid hormone in the body, it causes a lowering of blood calcium level. Means when calcium level in the blood decreases, then there will be deficiency of parathyroid hormone. This will increase excitability of nerves. Excitability means action potential of nerves and muscles, and sustained contraction of muscles of uh, larynx, then face, hands, feet are also produced. See, I mentioned feet. Rapid contraction happens in the, or too much excitability happens in the nerves and muscles. So this disorder is nothing but muscular tetany. That means parathyroid hormone, by balancing calcium and phosphorus in the blood and tissues, and based on the level of calcium in the blood and the tissues, so excitability of nerves and muscles will be controlled. That means it is directly related to muscular tetany. Okay, so option correct answer should be option C. Okay, then question number 19. Adrenaline is directly affects on adrenaline. You know, it is what we call emergency hormone, isn't it? Adrenaline, emergency hormone or flight response hormone or fight response hormone. Adrenaline directly affects on SA node, that is sinoatrial node present in the heart, beta cells of islets of Langerhans, then dorsal root of spinal nerve, epithelial cells of stomach. So what is the function of adrenaline? It is secreted from medulla part of adrenal gland. You know that cortex and medulla, two parts are there in the adrenal gland. Adrenaline hormone is produced by medulla of adrenal gland. Adrenaline directly and positively affects sinoatrial node and increases rate of heartbeat. Sinoatrial node, you know, which controls heartbeat. Increase or decrease of heartbeat will be controlled by sinoatrial node. So adrenaline directly affects the sinoatrial node by increasing the heartbeat. We know that suddenly when we face consequences, like suppose a dog chases you, then you run very fast and suddenly somebody comes to attack you, then what happens, or suddenly somebody called your name on the stage, okay, to announce something or to sing, you are not at all prepared, then what first happens is heartbeat increases, isn't it? So that is to fight with emergency conditions, to cope up with emergency situations. So adrenaline produced by medulla of adrenal gland directly affects the sinoatrial node by increasing heartbeat, okay, rate of heartbeat. Adrenaline prepares the body for emergency reactions like fight and flight response, like suddenly somebody attacks, then it prepares the body, okay, to face the situation. Then there is increase in heartbeat, breathing rate, blood pressure, then glucose level in the blood, then peripheral circulation. All these are controlled by adrenal gland. So adrenaline cannot control beta cells of Langerhans because it is a part of pancreas, and adrenaline doesn't contain that pancreas, because adrenaline is produced by adrenal gland. It has nothing to do with pancreas. And dorsal root of spinal nerve has nothing to do with adrenaline, because it is not controlled by that hormone. It is controlled by nervous system, isn't it? Epithelial cells of stomach, it is not related to adrenaline, because no absorption process in the stomach or digestion is related to adrenaline hormone, okay, or adrenal gland. So the option correct answer should be sinoatrial node by increasing the heartbeat. Okay. Then question number 20. Connective tissue is ectodermal in origin without intercellular spaces, mesodermal in origin without intercellular spaces, ectodermal in origin with intercellular spaces, mesodermal in origin with intercellular spaces. Okay, so connective tissue you have learnt. Connective tissue is produced by mesoderm of the embryo. When the embryo is growing in the mother's womb, okay, lot of changes happens there. Some tissues will be newly produced. So connective tissue is produced by mesoderm of the embryo. Embryo will have 3 layers, isn't it? We are triploblastic. So embryo will have outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, middle mesoderm. So which part of this 3 layers produces connective tissue? That is mesoderm. Mesoderm produces connective tissue of the embryo. The 3 components are present in the connective tissues. That is intracellular medium, connective tissue cells, and there are fibers present. Out of these 3 layers, I repeat, 3 parts are there in the connective tissues. That is intracellular medium, then connective tissue cells, then there are fibers, thread-like structures present. Okay, connective tissues connect and provide support to various structures. So the option should be mesodermal in origin with the intercellular spaces. That is option option D. Option D has mesodermal in origin with intercellular spaces. Okay, it cannot be ectodermal. There it is mesodermal in origin, that we know, but there are 2 options which starts with mesodermal, B and D. Without intercellular spaces, they said, but there is intercellular space that we have seen. That is cells, medium, and fibers present there. So it is mesodermal origin with intercellular spaces. It has spaces in between the cells. So it should be option D. Then next question you see. Question number 21. Dark adaptation in human eye involves conversion. First, what is dark adaptation? That is, dark adaptation is a habituation of eyes to see in darkness. Okay, when there is dark, what we do, we enlarge our eyelids and uh, try to see something in the dark, isn't it? Then we become more alert in the dark. So dark adaptation means ability of the eyes to see, ability of the eyes to see in dark. Okay, so it involves conversion of retinal and opsins in the light sensitive pigments. That there are 2 types of pigments, rods and cones. That 2 types of cells are there, rods and cones. Then there are pigments, that is retinal, then a rhodopsin, also called as visual purple, all these. So you have learned that rods are required for scotopic vision, that is night or twilight vision. Then cones are required for daylight, that is to see objects in daytime. So here they are talking about dark adaptation, that is ability of the eye to see in the darkness. So that is during the process of the option what they have given, retinine is a pigment present in the retinal. Okay, retinine is a pigment present in the retinal. So during the process, 11 trans retinine is converted to 11 cis retinine that binds with scotopsin. Scotopic vision means, in the night or twilight vision. Okay, when there is blur or dark light, dark condition, to reform rhodopsin and visual purple. Visual purple perceives light and facilitates vision. So it should be, that trans and cis is a position. Okay, position of retinine. Usually conversion of trans retinine to 11 cis retinine happens there. So that is option B. That is converting retinine. Retinine is a pigment present in retinal. Okay. So from the trans position, it is converted to cis position. That is 11 trans position to 11 cis position. So it should be option B. See, remaining options you can rule out directly. Okay. Because I gave you a lot of explanations on this. So based on that, option B is correct. See, question number 22. Okay. In the pelvic girdle of man, A, B, C, D, E respectively represents. They have labeled that you have to identify. Okay. So which are those parts? A, these parts. So we have studied skeleton in first year. Okay. So that part in the pelvic girdle, which is broad there, that is ilium, isn't it? Ilium. Then B, the notch present there, that is acetabulum. This acetabulum. Then C, near the groove, that is pubis, isn't it? Then D should be ischium. Then E should be pubic symphysis, isn't it? The sharp structure there present in between, that is pubic symphysis. They have given all this, but you have to go in order. Which A is which one? A is ilium, isn't it? Which option has? Option B and option C both has. The next one is B is acetabulum, C is pubis, D is ischium, E is pubic symphysis. So the option should be B. B is a correct answer, isn't it? Then which of the following organism does not evolve oxygen in photosynthesis? That is, which of the following organism doesn't involve oxygen in photosynthesis? Which is that? Which doesn't use oxygen? Option they are given: higher plants, Anabaena, then Rhodospirillum, and Funaria. You see that Anabaena and Rhodospirillum, that is nitrogen fixing bacteria, isn't it? Funaria is moss, that is bryophyte. Then higher plants undergo all these have photosynthesis. Like green plants, some purple and green sulfur bacteria are also capable of synthesizing organic food in the presence of light and even in absence of light, which is known as bacterial photosynthesis, isn't it? Bacteria also does photosynthesis. That is photosynthetically autotrophic. Some are chemosynthetically autotrophic, isn't they? Use chemicals and produce food. So some purple and green sulfur bacteria also use prepare food by in presence of light and in absence of oxygen. That is bacterial photosynthesis. So that is the studied by bacterial photosynthesis is studied by scientist Cornelius van Niel. His name was there in photosynthesis. Cornelius van Niel in 1950. Okay, the reaction is bacterial photosynthesis reaction is carbon dioxide plus 2H2A. Carbon dioxide, because oxygen is not utilized there. Carbon dioxide is used in absence of oxygen. So CO2 plus 2HA under bacterial chlorophyll or chlorobium chlorophyll, we say, in presence of light, but in absence of oxygen, produces CH2O plus 2A plus H2O. Okay. So that is sulfur, purple sulfur bacteria and non-sulfur bacteria contain bacteriochlorophyll. Chlorophyll present in bacteria, we call bacteriochlorophyll, which is having 2 hydrogen atoms more with chlorophyll A, and it absorbs light in the range of 850 to 950 nanometer. What comes under this nanometer? That is after red. That means infrared comes here, isn't it? 850 to 950 nanometer wavelength of light, which is poor in energy and hence unable to use and split water, and thus oxygen evolution in bacterial photosynthesis, that is rhodospirillum. Rhodospirillum bacteria uh, is organism which doesn't evolve photosynthesis, because light absorption happens here, but photolysis doesn't happen. Splitting of water doesn't happen because in the infrared wavelength, when it absorbs light, which is poor in energy, hence it cannot use the energy to split water. If it doesn't split water, H2O, what is there? That is hydrogen and oxygen should break, then only O2 will be released. But energy is not sufficient for splitting of water. So splitting of water, photolysis doesn't happen. So oxygen evolution doesn't happen. So that is in case of rhodospirillum, not in higher plants. In higher plants, water splitting happens, and in remaining also. So it is rhodospirillum, that is bacteria. Okay. Then question number 24. Plants of edible banana are propagated by what method? Which is a vegetative propagule there. You have learned vegetative propagule means the part by which vegetative propagation is done, isn't it? So whether it is leaf base, seeds, flower buds, and suckers. So we know that in banana it is sucker, isn't it? Because sucker is nothing but it's a slender, I mean thin underground shoot that arises from base of aerial shoot or stem, grows at the expense of parent plant. Suckers are used to propagate the plant, like banana, mint. You know, you have seen that banana, like one plant is there. Around that plant, so many other plants will grow. I mean, so many banana plants will grow. Okay, that is. And if you have to grow banana in other plant, I mean other area, then what we do? That's a small plant which is growing near the base of that banana. Usually that we remove and we put it in the other area. That isn't it? That is nothing but sucker. Okay, so it cannot be leaf base or flower buds or seeds. So it should be suckers. It is very easy question actually. Okay, question number 25. Engulfing of food, that is taking the food inside or swallowing. Engulfing of food either in solid or in liquid form is called, what is that? Sporozoic nutrition, holozoic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition. It should be holozoic, that you know, even in human beings also. The human beings, then amoeba also, taking either solid food or liquid food. We take both. Even amoeba also takes both. You know that word, you know, when amoeba takes solid food, that is called what is that? Phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means taking solid food. That is also called phagocytosis, is also called cell eating. The word exact meaning of phagocytosis is cell eating. Then cell drinking means if amoeba drinks water, it takes liquid food, then it is called pinocytosis. Pino, pinocytosis. The word meaning is cell drinking. That means we also take solid food, isn't it? And we drink water also, liquid food also. So it is holozoic nutrition. Sporozoic nutrition means, like malarial parasite, that is sucking blood. Okay, then parasitic nutrition means, parasite means animal which lives in the body of other animal, then that animal is called host, so it absorbs nutrition from the host. Then saprophytic nutrition means, it is growing on dead and decaying organic matter, so that cannot be. So engulfing the food, solid food and liquid food will be holozoic nutrition. Okay, so it should be option B. Then question number 26. Suspension of isolated thylakoids in culture medium containing carbon dioxide and water does not produce hexose due to absence of which of the following? Understand the question. Suspension of isolated thylakoids means they removed thylakoids from the chlorophyll pigment, okay, and they have put that chlorophyll pigment in the culture medium, and culture medium contains carbon dioxide and water, with that doesn't produce hexose in that medium. Why? Because of absence of what is not there in the medium, so that thylakoid doesn't produce hexose. That is, suspension of isolated thylakoids in culture medium containing carbon dioxide and water doesn't produce hexose because absence of enzymes, isn't it? It needs a enzyme to produce this. Like a stack of thylakoids are called grana or in the chloroplast. You know that. Light reaction of photosynthesis happens in grana. If assimilatory power in the form of ATP and NADPH, light reaction products, it produces ATP and NADPH2. That is not produced here because absence of enzymes. Okay, enzyme is required for forming these products. Then the dark reaction of photosynthesis doesn't happen. In dark reaction, assimilatory power produced during light reaction will be used for fixation and reduction of carbon dioxide. So that enzyme is only not there to absorb carbon dioxide, then there is no chance for absorption of carbon dioxide and producing hexose. So it is not ATP, it is not proteins, it is not Hill reagent, that is enzymes. It should be enzymes because enzymes are required for this process. Okay. Then 27th question. It is observed that simple organisms like algae, fungi normally reproduce asexually, but before onset of adverse condition, they shift to sexual reproduction. It is because sexual reproduction does what? What is the benefit of sexual reproduction? Did you understand the question? Some simple organisms like algae, fungi, usually they reproduce by asexual method. But before getting very bad climatic conditions, adverse climatic condition, they shift to sexual reproduction. Because once it goes to adverse condition, reproduction becomes very difficult. Before it approaches a bad situation, it does something. Like we also do that. Before rainy season approaches, okay, we store fuel wood or firewood because in rainy season, wet wood cannot be used, isn't it? We store even grains also. We bring it and we make it dry. We expose those grains to sunlight and we store it, and we store that food for rainy season. Okay, so before it gets adverse condition, it will it will switch to sexual reproduction instead of asexual. Why? Because sexual reproduction what saves time, it is fast, produces variations, or all of these. That is, sexual reproduction produces variations. You see, you know that asexual method doesn't produce any variation. Asexual method like amoeba reproduces by binary fission. One cell divides into two daughter cells. Both the daughter cells will be identical to a parent. Both daughter cells look exactly same like uh, parent, isn't it? So there is no variation. Variation means change. Offsprings produced should have some changes from the parents. Like you see human beings, we exactly don't look like our parents. We have similarities. Okay, so we are different, completely different compared to our parents. We are different individuals. Okay, we don't look exactly same like our parents. That means we are different. But amoeba, parent and both the daughter cells looks exactly same. All three look same. So sexual reproduction saves time that you cannot say in all the time. But with respect to algae and fungi, you can say that it can save time. But here they are asking with relation to climatic condition. Okay, because it is rapid. Option say they said B. It is rapid means very fast. No, even some asexual reproduction are also very fast. Okay, that is binary fission. You see, it is fast. Okay, so produces variations, correct, because sexual reproduction produces difference. Offsprings look different from the parents. All of these cannot be, because with respect to climatic condition, it should be it um, produces variations. That is, during favorable conditions, what it does, simple organisms like algae and fungi multiply asexually, but during unfavorable condition, gametes are formed. So gametes fuse to form zygote and often develops into zygospores. This you know. The zygospores are dispersed. Under favorable conditions, zygospore germinate to produce new organism. So since fusion of gametes from different parents occur during sexual reproduction, hence genetic recombination usually happens in variations, isn't it? Variations is a major factor of natural selection, plays very important role in evolution, that you know that. So considering evolution and variations produced by sexual reproduction, that is under adverse climatic conditions, zygospore is produced. Then when condition becomes favorable, then zygospore germinates to produce new organism. That is how it is option C. Okay, so hormone produced in allergic reaction is calcitonin, thyroxine, parathormone, glucocorticoid. You know this hormone produced during allergic reaction, that is glucocorticoid, isn't it? That is, you know, calcitonin, thyroxine, parathormone is nowhere related to allergic condition. It is glucocorticoids will be produced. Then up to question number what 29. Yeah, in humans, sphincter of Oddi is associated with opening of. Do you remember the sphincter of Oddi? Okay, that is question number 29. Now we are discussing. In humans, sphincter of Oddi is associated with the opening of what? Right and left hepatic ducts, means, you know, liver ducts. The tubes produced by left and right part of liver joins to form common hepatic duct. Okay, common tube. Then this common tube produced by liver joins cystic duct, which arises from gallbladder. Then cystic duct and common hepatic duct joins to form bile duct, which passes downwards posteriorly and joins main pancreatic duct and forms hepatopancreatic ampulla. It is also called ampulla of Vater, not hotel waiter. VATER. Okay, ampulla of Vater. The ampulla opens into duodenum. The opening is guarded by sphincter of Oddi. That means duct from pancreas and duct from liver joins at one common point, like a door like part. One part is there which controls opening of this common hepatopancreatic duct, that is sphincter of Oddi. Sphincter means, you know, it's like a valve or it is a door like structure. Okay, whenever it is required, it opens. It is highly controlled. Okay, that is sphincter of Oddi. So it should be option A, hepatopancreatic ampulla, isn't it? Yeah. Question number 30. Find out the wrong match. Eosinophils, basophils, neutrophils, monocytes. Eosinophils, allergic response, basophils. This, you know, white blood corpuscles. There are two types, granulocytes, agranulocytes, if you remember. Basophils secrete histamine and serotonin. Neutrophils are involved in phagocytic and destroy foreign organisms. This is nothing but, on the left side they have given type of white blood corpuscle, and on the right side they have given its functions, which is wrongly matched with the function of these cells. See, eosinophils are involved in allergic response. That is correct, because see, in the case of dengue fever or any infection happens, when they do blood test, first they see eosinophils. Number of eosinophils, if it increases, Then directly they say some allergic condition is there in the body. That means eosinophils are directly related to allergic response. Then along with that, during allergic condition, body shows response by producing chemicals called histamines and serotonin. That you know that you have learnt it. Allergy separately you have learnt under human health and diseases. So basophils secrete histamines and serotonin. That is also correct. That is a function of basophil. Then when any new bacteria or any foreign body enters, neutrophils present in our body engulf or swallow these and kill it. So it does phagocytosis and destroy foreign organisms, and thereby it gives immunity. Then monocytes secreting heparin, that is not correct. Okay. Where, so monocytes are largest of all the types of leukocytes or white blood corpuscles. It is amoeboid in shape, and it has much cytoplasm compared to other cells. Nucleus is like a bean seed shaped. Okay, they have motile and phagocytic in nature. They engulf bacteria and cellular debris, means any debris waste is there that it will absorb. Generally, it changes into macrophages after entering tissue. Okay, monocyte becomes a macrophage after entering the tissue, but it doesn't secrete heparin. Its function just now we discussed. It engulfs bacteria, it does phagocytosis, all that, but it doesn't secrete heparin. Okay, so correct. I mean, wrongly matched should be option D, monocytes. The polymerase chain reaction (PCR). Okay, technology was discovered by. This is directly you can say. Directly you can say that it is Kary Mullis. Even though it was not there in the syllabus, in theory I mentioned it. Polymerase chain reaction. That is, you put a part of DNA, then after 30 cycles, nearly 1 billion copies will be produced. That you have learned, isn't it? Three steps are there in that. Do you remember that? First one is denaturation at high temperature. Double-stranded DNA splits. Then there is annealing. A small primer they put on 5' and 3' and then it grows on either side. That is polymerization, isn't it? So these three steps will be repeated again and again. That is invented by, that is discovered, not invented. Discovered by Kary Mullis. Okay, so it is option A. If you have to know more about Kary Mullis, uh, Kary Mullis got Nobel Prize. Not alone, he shared Nobel Prize with Michael Smith in chemistry in 1993. Okay, PCR results in selective amplification of a part of DNA, or you can say specific region of DNA. So it can also be used to generate a fragment of DNA for cloning. For cloning also they use for multiplication of a particular DNA. Okay, then blood of earthworm is in which color? Red in color. Then due to dissolved hemoglobin in plasma, red in color due to dissolved hemoglobin in corpuscles, blue in color due to dissolved hemocyanin in the plasma, blue in color due to dissolved hemocyanin in corpuscles. So about hemocyanin, blue color pigment, we have already discussed in previous questions. You know that earthworm, okay, by mistake, okay, if you have seen earthworm bleeding or in the soil, we have seen that it is red in color. Blood is red in color. So blood of earthworm contains red respiratory pigment, hemoglobin, which usually dissolves in plasma. It gives red color to the blood and helps in transportation of oxygen for breathing or respiration. So it should be not in corpuscles, it should be in plasma. So it should be option A. Okay. So we discussed 32 questions in part 1. Totally 90 questions we have to discuss. So many questions are remaining. So in part 2, I'll discuss remaining questions. Okay. Thank you.